You should only follow the Bible alone.
What's a Bible? You guys will write it in a couple years. Well, what do we follow until we write it?
The Bible. Of course.
What does the Bible say to follow the Bible alone?
So I just reacted to a clip of George Janko, Cliff Knechtle, and Philip Anthony Mitchell saying you must follow the Bible alone to understand Christ and to be saved, right? To understand Christianity. Well, the problem with that, before I continue actually, I love George Janko, I love Cliff Knechtle, and I love Philip Anthony Mitchell. They definitely helped me out with my faith journey, but they are wrong when it says the Bible alone. Because when you go to 2 Timothy, St. Paul writes, hold fast the pattern sound words which you have heard from me. He also writes in 2 Timothy 2:2, and the things that you have heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. Also in Timothy, St. Paul writes, the church is the pillar and foundation of the truth. And guess what? The New Testament wasn't fully canonized, it wasn't fully recognized until the 4th century at the councils of Hippo and the Council of Carthage. So as you guys can see, for the first 400 years of Christianity, there was not a fully recognized, canonized New Testament. And also, the first New Testament document was written until at least 15 years after the death of Christ. And guess what? What did the ancient Christians do for the first 15 years of Christianity? They didn't have a New Testament, so they relied on the Old Testament and oral tradition. Because it also says in Thessalonians, St. Paul writes, to obey what's written in the oral traditions he passed down. I'll put that on the screen so you guys can read it. And also, St. Paul writes in one of his letters, it's better to give than to receive. And my question is, where does Jesus ever say that? But St. Paul is saying that because it was passed down orally, and I'll put that in the screen as well. So as you guys can see, the church is the foundation of truth. The church has authority, the same authority as the Bible, and the church recognized the New Testament canon in the 4th century. So the ancient Christians, at least for the first 15 years, didn't have a New Testament scripture. And for the first 4th century, there was no New Testament canonized, so the ancient Christians relied on oral tradition passed on through the apostles, through their successors.